Well, the widely expected fuel price hike has finally been announced at the 11th hour. The soaring cost of petrol is becoming a growing crisis for many motorists with huge implications for the economy. At midnight, petrol goes up by R2.43 per litre for 93 octane, R2.33 per litre for 95. Diesel will cost between R1.07 and R1.10 more per litre. Paraffin goes up by R1.56. Tomorrow's hike means that the cost of 95 unleaded, the most expensive fuel, will now soar above 24 Rand per litre, new record. There were already a series of hikes that pushed the price above 20 Rand last year, and the trend has been up. The hikes are highlighting the limited options that South Africans have in terms of public transport and the deteriorating state of our rail systems. Many goods are delivered by road, meaning the price hike will have a direct impact on our shopping bills. The cumulative fuel price hikes have added significantly to inflation or the cost of living. FNB says as the prices become exorbitant, the bank expects many commuters who are able to work from home to do this to an even greater extent. And this will affect the office market. Tomorrow's price hike would have been even worse if government had not extended its temporary relief it announced 2 months ago. The relief amounts to a reduction of R1.50 in levies that would otherwise have been charged.
And let's stay with the story. Nozintombi Miya, our reporters on the ground in Johannesburg, speaking to motorists just to get their reaction to this. Nozintombi, certainly a lot of unhappiness on the ground. I mean, these are new record highs. What are motorists telling you?
You're quite right, Bongi. Absolute unhappiness from motorists. Talking about the impact that the fuel increase will definitely have on them, on their bottom line. And I'm just going to take you to speak to a few more motorists. These two young ladies that I spoke to a little bit earlier, driving in this car, were just telling me how, as they're filling up now, hi ladies, they were just telling me a little bit earlier how it's going to be extremely stressful for them with the fact that the petrol has gone up. Before we start, what did you fill up, 95 or 93?
93.
And how much is it costing you so much?
Well, usually it costs us about 800 for a full tank. So now it's going to cost even more, which is very, very stressful, especially as like students. Another cost for us.
And for you, just come in a little bit closer. So you guys are definitely both students. So, co-commuting is definitely helpful for you guys. But I mean, if you're splitting the bill, 400 Rands each, it's taking away from textbooks money, it's taking away from lunch money, tuck money, allowances and that kind of stuff.
Yes, 100%. And we're both students and we drive in almost every single day of the week. And we're coming from the East Rand, so it's a long distance every single day going and coming. Yeah.
So, we're talking about alternatives and, how possibly we can, either use public transport. Is that even an option for you guys at this point? Would it be cheaper?
Unfortunately not, because the best option would be the Wits buses, but they don't come all the way to the East Rand. And, we could try maybe the Gautrain, but then it's still a walk to Varsity, which is quite dangerous for us.
So we literally don't have any option but to travel to Varsity.
It must be stressful on your parents as well. I mean, do you guys have side jobs that you're helping to supplement your allowances with?
No, just parents. So this is just another cost for our parents. And we have only one working parent. So it's just another additional cost. It's so stressful. Yeah.
It's the compound impact of the layoffs from the COVID regulations and the lockdowns and people losing their jobs, as well as the fact that our rand is just doing so badly to the dollar, and people have lost their jobs and it's difficult for them to get back into the industries. It must be quite difficult having only one parent being the breadwinner.
It is, and it's so stressful because as students, we try our best, and even Wits, they increase their fees, so it's just like another cost that our parents have to suffer.
And it's not cheap going to Wits.
It really
not
isn't.
At all. Not at all. Not cheap at all.
So just quickly, your last comment. What do you think needs to happen to help motorists, whether students or professionals or whoever it is that's using a car and has to use petrol? What do you think needs to happen to try and mitigate against the increases? Let's start with you.
Well, I think, not related to petrol, but just to make public transport more accessible, especially to students, because it really is difficult to come in and out.
Navigate.
Yeah.
And more reliable, because sometimes you can't really rely on public transport with times, and they're not really on time, so you have to make other arrangements.
411 bus is supposed to come at 3 o'clock, but it comes at 4.
Yeah, so you don't have an option.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies, and drive safe. Thank you very much for that. Francis, I mean, this is really sort of like the sentiments that we've been getting throughout the course of this afternoon. Since the news of the increase broke just after 3 o'clock. And this is the sentiments that we're getting from motorists, that it's just simply too expensive. They're going to have to sacrifice something else, a basic need, just to be able to fill up with petrol. And while some people can work from home, the majority of people who would sacrifice taking their cars would want to take public transport, but the lack of reliability and the lack of efficiency with public transport becomes another problem, and it's just a compounding woe on top of a compounding woe. And it certainly isn't any good news on that front for motorists. Francis.
Definitely. Tough times ahead there, Nozintombi Miya. Watching these developments around the story for us, I tell you, a lot of people talking about reliable public transport and the compounding effect that this is going to have on various other things, for consumers. That's Nozintombi. We'll check in with her at the next hour.